Welcome back, Charlton Sports Weekly. Time to talk some middle school football and some Indian football.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Like I said, we got two Braves games to cover this week. Since last week they
played on Thursday, right?
played on Thursday, then turned around and played again yesterday. So got good news from both games. Like I said, they started out Thursday against Hilliard. Seems to be the theme in this program.
Must be Hilliard week.
36-6, they came out on top. Andrew Lee, according to Coach Thomas, 302 rushing yards.
That's outstanding.
Five touchdowns.
That's all 5 touchdowns he scored.
He scored every one of them.
He may have scored the extra point also.
That's probably a good chance.
That's amazing yardage for a junior high running back. Because if you look at it, their quarters are only
8 minutes.
8 minutes long, yeah. And high school quarters 12 minutes, and you're looking at a total of 12 a whole quarter. So that's the equivalent of playing 3 quarters in a high school game, and the kid rushed for 302 yards. That's outstanding. Props to his offensive line too,
right?
Because I'm sure he didn't get all those by himself without some holes being open. So that's awesome.
But defensively, Coach Thomas said that AC James was in on 6 tackles, so got to mention the defensive players because they didn't give up. Didn't give up a 6 points. So.
And that was probably to some backups.
Right.
With that score.
Yesterday out at Indian Field, they played St. Mary's Middle, the team who had defeated them
in the scrimmage.
It was like 19-6. We lost to them in the scrimmage. Well, I guess the real game was a little bit different here.
That's awesome.
We ended up beating St. Mary's Middle 36-16.
It's always good when we beat a Camden County.
That's it. We beat both of them this year. So the Braves are now 4-0 on the season. Like I said, in that game, I was in the concession stand and I saw the kickoff, and I think the very first play from scrimmage, we were off to the races for a touchdown. I think, Lord, it's
going to be a shootout.
But I think we were up 22-16 right before the half, and we scored right before the half and got up 28-16 and added one more in the second half. So, but once again, Andrew Lee, he only carried the ball 4 times, but he had 140 yards. So
that's a heck of an average.
And
1 touchdown.
He scored 1 touchdown, so he's slacking in that department.
Yeah.
But
he was probably still recuperating from that 302-yard
Thursday,
out.
He didn't get a full week's rest. Yeah. That's it. Eric Daniels had 103 yards rushing. He scored a touchdown also. Jay Harris had 53 yards rushing.
That's good. They're spreading the ball around.
Right. Well, you get some of them younger kids some experience in there. That's what it's all about. AC James, he was a defensive standout, and he got on offense. He got himself a touchdown. So
that's good.
And I know his mom would be glad to hear this. She loves hearing her kid's name on the show. So Tracer Spurlock,
Big Tracer.
He blocked a punt in the end zone, and Jordan Talon recovered it for a touchdown. So
I bet Tracer was excited on that.
Right, probably not near as excited as his mama, but she's gonna get on to me for this.
Yeah.
But, anyway,
she was in here earlier today.
Was she?
Yeah. I'll have to give her tell her to tell the we call it when Tracer comes in here to work out, we call him the professor. So next time you see him, call him the professor. He'll know what exactly probably who told you to call him that. But it doesn't surprise me that Tracer's a good ball player. He's a good little athlete.
He is. Defensively, Coach Thomas said that Tion Burrows and DJ Epps stood out. I think they're both defensive ends on each side, so they did a good job.
Nobody coming around the corner.
Right.
That's good.
So like I said, the Braves go to 4-0. I believe they host Yulee next Tuesday.
I might have to get out there to that game.
And Coach Thomas has been told by other coaches that Yulee's supposed to have a kid supposedly better than what Andrew Lee is. So we'll just have to wait and see what they got.
Everybody's got an all-star till the coins flip.
That's right.
So we'll see what Yulee's got. They're the Hornets, right?
I think they are. I'm really not sure. They hadn't been around long enough.
I know that's their high school mascot, the Hornets.
Right.
So, I'm almost sure they're either the Hornets or the Yellow Jackets.
Okay.
So.
But anyway, we'll move on to the high school. Like I said, the Indians traveled over to Pearson last Friday, and I mean, you've talked about this before. It was the boringest 42-0 game I've ever seen.
I think it was. I just there was no emotion from either team. Both teams looked flat coming out, and we just had way better athletes than they had, and just overpowered them. But I hope we see some emotion this week, and especially next week.
That's right.
With Wilcox coming to town, but I don't know. I just think the kids got off the bus, and it was almost like they was in a fog. So
pretty much, probably knew they had it won already, and really
they probably and I'm sure Atkinson probably saw them getting off the bus and conceded at that point. But I know we played a game, but that game was just there was no real big plays, nothing. So
like I said, we led 30-0 at halftime. So fortunately, the whole second half was a running clock. At least it got us out of there early.
I know you were down on the field on the sidelines there, but up in the stands. And we were getting attacked by bugs up there the whole night.
I'm glad they were up there because I didn't get too many of them. I was just trying to keep my feet dry on the wet grass.
Yeah. They probably wet it to try and slow us down a little bit, I'm sure.
I think they had some of that rain we had too.
Yeah.
I really didn't have no big standout players.
No.
Like I said, Trey Hamilton, he had 200-something yards the week before, but he only got 82 this week. But he still scored 3 touchdowns. Also threw a touchdown pass to Desmond Epps.
Nice touchdown pass, too.
And he ended up with 72 yards passing. So
that may be our most passing yards of the year in a game.
Right, but between him and Richard had 80-something yards passing, I believe.
Oh, did he?
I forgot to write that down, I believe, but he...
Well, that's good, 150 passing yards in that game. I didn't see. That's how boring the game was. I didn't even realize we had that many pass yards.
But actually, Caleb Smith was the leading rusher. I don't think he carried the ball but 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, Caleb's probably got the highest yards per carry average in the history of the school. He almost had his second 90-something yard touchdown of the season, and I think he let off the gas a little bit and let that boy run him down from behind.
Well, like I said, I think we'd stopped Atkinson's only drive inside the 5, and like I said, he took it off tackle and busted through there, and I think he ended up, I forget how many yards it was, 40, 50-something yards later. He got caught, but also had, I think, a 20-something yard run on a touchdown on a, I guess you call it a reverse kind of.
Yeah.
But other scoring on the night, you had Tyree Savage. I think that's his first high school touchdown.
Got to be his first.
Richard Dasher scored, I believe, on a little short quarterback sneak, and
Desmond Epps caught him another touchdown from Trey.
Right. So, leading tacklers, I said Caleb Smith leading rusher, leading tackler, so had a good ball game.
Caleb's having a good year on defense.
He had 6 tackles, and Tim Westcott added 5 more. So, and then quarterback sacks. Caleb Smith again. Him and Tim both had 2 sacks. Cody Wilds and Trey Harrington had one apiece. I said, we ended up holding Atkinson to minus 22 yards rushing on the night.
That's awesome.
So I think they ended up with 80-something passing. I think a couple of them long ones on that one drive that they almost scored on.
And you subtract that 82, and that holds them to about 60-something total yards, net yards.
So good night defensively.
Defense is playing good this year.
They are.
I know some people could argue we haven't played much competition, but that defense has held its own. And that Bradwell team, I know Camden blew them out, but everybody expected that. But Bradwell, if they was down in Class A, they'd probably be a top 10 team easily. And we didn't give up much against them. So defense is playing good. Offensive line had another good night. Friday night, kids was opening holes. I always try and watch some of the linemen. Eddie Wynn, he from what I seen, a good night. Michael Alberts is every time I watch him, he's blowing somebody. He's got to have more pancakes than probably the other four starters combined. And our center, Spencer Lowe, he had to leave the game and be taken to the hospital for fear of a concussion, but I think he's going to be all right and be able to go this week.
Oh, good. I said Will Gowan stepped in and did a good job centering the ball.
Will done a good job stepping in, and Will had a pretty decent defensive performance. Our defensive game, too, I think. I don't think he made many tackles, but out there on the defensive ends, they get double-teamed a lot, and those outside linebackers get a free rush to the quarterback, because I know Cody, he gets double-teamed a lot.
One other thing, Donovan Bolden, I said he blocked a punt pretty deep in Atkinson territory, which set up one of our scores. So we hadn't seen too many blocked punts recently, so it's always good to get some of those.
Yeah, and Donovan's one of our kids. He plays receiver and defensive back.
Returns kicks,
returns punts, and we don't mention Donovan much, but by the time the ball, and that's how good the defense is this year, he's not making many tackles, which you don't want your DBs making many tackles, and we're not throwing the ball much, but athletic-wise, Donovan's one of probably the top 2, 3, or 4 athletes on the team. Good player. Real good kid, too.
Like I said, with his speed, you put him right on the edge on punts, and hopefully he can turn that corner and get to it. And he finally got to one.
Yeah.
Couple things, some of the alumni I'd like to mention. Like I said, I know we've talked about Dwight Dasher and Justin Mincy. Like I said, both of them were released from Omaha a couple weeks ago, but I found out yesterday that both have been picked up by Canadian Football League teams, added to their, what they call a practice roster. So I don't know exactly what that means for them, but,
they playing and getting, hopefully cashing a check.
Right.
So that's what matters.
Dwight is signed with Calgary Stampeders, and Justin Mincy is signed with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, which is where former Indian Joe Higgins played at a long time ago. So, also one other thing I'd like to mention, Adam Davis and his Kansas State Wildcats last week. And Snapper, if you're listening to this, close your ears because you're not going to like to hear it. But
they put it on Miami.
They made a goal line stand right at the end, and pretty much you got to call it an upset. But it's always good to see kids playing on TV.
It is. And Adam made he made one great play on a third down and ran the quarterback down and made a tackle.
Right, because they were driving and it shut the drive down. I think he also had a deflected pass early in the game too. So
I was proud of old Adam.
Right, Adam's.
I just wish they would have put him on the kickoff team.
I know it, but
see that wild man running down the field one more time.
But this week, Indians are on the road once again, going to Turner County.
Yep, I think this will be our farthest road game until we hit the playoffs.
Right.
Turner is have they won a game yet?
They beat Telfair 2 weeks ago. They lost to Bacon County last week. I think it was 33-24, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So they're capable of putting some points on the board anyway, it looks like. I'm sure they've got some athletic kids. I think we've talked before, they've usually got those tall, lanky wide receivers that play basketball.
Yeah, one receiver that's 6'7", so we might need to stack, 2 defensive backs on top of each other. Have one stand on the other shoulder to go out there and guard him. I hope it don't come down to a jump pass or a jump ball or something. That's hard to compete with.
Well, the best way to negate that is put pressure on the quarterback. Don't give him time to throw it.
I think we can do that. I think our defense will.
Like I said, I didn't have a chance to see any film on them, so I really don't know exactly what they've got. But they're 1-4 on the year, so.
Well, we'll find out Friday whether they can throw the ball or not. I think we'll go over there and control the clock, control the ball, and as long as we don't turn the ball over, I don't see Turner getting within 2 to 3 touchdowns.
Right. I think once we get established, as long as we don't draw any stupid penalties and how we've done earlier.
Yeah, we've had our share of stupid penalties now. Hopefully that was a beginning of the year deal, and that's done with.
Penalties have been going down the last couple of weeks, so maybe we've got it all out of our system.
First 2 games we had more penalty yards combined than we had total yards, I think. So, but yeah, they've been going down. I'm looking forward to the game. I ain't looking forward to the drive there, and I sure ain't looking forward to the drive home. But see what Turner's got, and not looking forward, but I'm particularly ready for that game next week.
That's it. Wilcox County comes to town, so hoping we can match up with them and give them a ball game.
Yeah, I hope so. All right, let's go. All right, well, next week we just got word our AD, Jesse Cruz, will be joining us here. So that'll be...
we should get plenty of information.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get plenty of info, and we might just turn the microphones over to him. We'll go get us a snack or something. Jesse will keep us entertained.
That's it. We might have an hour-long show next week.
Plenty of entertainment with Jesse around. All right.
Go ahead.
We're not going to do no high school picks because this looks like it's a if the favorites don't win this week in the region, the planets are out of alignment or something.
Probably the best game of the week would probably be Irwin and Lanier.
Irwin and Lanier.
Now, Lanier really didn't show me too much offense when we played them, so
I'd have to pick Irwin in that game. I think that would be that's a toss-up. Who knows? Lanier's supposed to have some athletes, but while we was there, we didn't see them. And that boy they got that's committed to Georgia Tech, I hope he shut it down for a senior year because if those coaches see any film like we saw, they may pull that offer off the table. So let's go over some college games. Since we've been doing college picks here every week, I got us about 7 or 8 games here. The first one, probably 2 teams neither one of us care about, but one of them's got probably the best quarterback in the country. UCLA at Stanford. How you see that one?
Well, Stanford's been more of a national powerhouse the last couple of years, and UCLA hasn't, so that pretty much answers the question there.
That's right. I'm going to take Stanford myself. All right. A school here, this school's in the top, I think they're a top 15 or top 20 school right now. and their up-and-coming program, University of South Florida at the University of Pittsburgh.
Now, Pittsburgh lost. Let's see, they played, who was it, Notre Dame last?
Pitt is 2-2.
They lost to somebody last week. I can't remember exactly who, but
they always start out ranked in the top 20, and by the third, fourth week, they're out of it. So
I'm gonna go with the Bulls on that one, South Florida, even though they are playing it in Pittsburgh.
South Florida went to Notre Dame and beat them, so I'm gonna go with the Bulls of South Florida myself. I don't know why I put this next game on here, but
so we could both get one right. Probably.
Yeah. I'm sure I know who 100% of the people would pick in this one. Kentucky is going down on the Bayou to LSU. So, and LSU put it on West Virginia last week and jumped Oklahoma and gained the #1 ranking. So I don't think Kentucky gets within 35 points.
No, Kentucky took it on the chin pretty hard against Florida last week too. So, it's probably going to take a miracle for Kentucky to win, and I don't see it happening.
Yeah, the only chance Kentucky, I think, would be if LSU was going there and LSU's plane crashed. That would be their only chance of winning. All right, this should turn out to be a good game. Clemson and VIII, Virginia Tech. Both teams are undefeated. Both teams have a good tradition. Clemson gained some momentum last week. They beat FSU. They beat FSU last week. They beat Auburn the week before.
Okay, I'm getting old. I can't remember.
I'm telling you, man, you didn't get your nap this afternoon, I guess.
All right. Anyway, we know who they beat anyway.
Yeah, because FSU's backup quarterback had to play.
That's right.
And Clemson's got some speed, but as much as I hate to say it, because I dislike VIII probably more than any major university, I'm going to have to pick them.
I'm probably going to have to go with that pick also. Clemson's had these 2 tough games already back-to-back, and it's hard to get up 3 weeks in a row for a top-ranked team. So, plus it's in Virginia Tech. So
they play well at home.
That's right. So, I'll go for the Hokies.
Yeah. All right. Big Ten matchup here. Big Ten newcomer Nebraska goes to Wisconsin. This is going to be a night game up in Wisconsin, and 2 what I consider blue-collar teams. When I think of Nebraska and Wisconsin, not only does their helmets and uniforms almost look alike, I think of just big. Both teams got these big country boy, farm kid, corn-fed boys on the offensive and defensive line, big bruising running backs. Neither team's going to probably pass the ball more than 20 times in the game.
Should be a quick game anyway.
Yeah.
Fox not going to quit running too much.
I actually don't know who to pick in this, or it's a kind of a toss-up, but being this at Wisconsin, and I remember last year watching Wisconsin beat Ohio State on a Saturday night in Wisconsin, and I think that stadium's kind of like some of the SEC stadiums when they play at night, maybe like LSU on a Saturday night. I'm going to pick Wisconsin to beat Nebraska.
I'm with you on that, too. Like I said, we're agreeing too much here, but like I said, Nebraska's still trying to get back to where they once were, and I think Wisconsin's already level ahead of them right now. So, plus playing in Wisconsin is going to help the Badgers out. So,
the only thing this game's missing, man, is about 2 feet of snow.
Yeah, it's too early in the year.
I know. All right, next game we got is I can guarantee you the Bulldogs will win this next game.
That's right.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs at the Georgia Bulldogs. The game's in Athens. Georgia's gotten on a roll. They're 2-2 now. They beat who was it? Ole Miss, and they pretty much handled Ole Miss, which I expected them to. Mississippi State, I don't think they played last week.
I don't believe so.
I don't think they played. They've only, I think they're 1-2. Mississippi State's 1-2.
They lost a heartbreaker to Auburn.
They lost they lost by that much. But they come into Georgia, gonna play between the hedges. I think this game is during the day. The Georgia crowd should be fired up. I see the Dogs winning this game, the Georgia Dogs.
That's right.
I see them winning probably by about 2 touchdowns.
Well, you know I'm going to pick my Dogs over
I
their
know,
Dogs
I
anytime.
know.
So, but yeah, I think they finally got some confidence
Yeah.
going after them. Now they didn't really play bad in the 2 losses.
No,
they just
they didn't.
while
Yeah.
other top-ranked schools were playing, non-conference games of nobody real big.
Yep.
They kind of bit off more than they could chew early on the
I
year.
think they found themselves a running game. That way they don't have to rely on Murray as
Right.
much, and the defense looked good against Ole Miss from what I seen, and I just seen the second half. But I think Georgia's going to be all right the rest of the year. I think by the end of the year they may lose. They may finish 9-3, 8-4, and people will probably still be calling for Rick to be fired.
Probably so.
So, Georgia, not all of them, but most Georgia fans, I think, expect a national championship every year. All right, next game is Auburn at my team, the South Carolina Gamecocks. Auburn, who comes in, I can't remember who they played last week. I don't even know. I know they played, I can't remember who. But anyway, South Carolina played Vanderbilt. Stephen Garcia showed up as Heckle instead of Jekyll. Threw 4 interceptions in the first half. But Carolina still won 21-3 and held Vanderbilt to a total 50-something total yards offense. Each week, except for that Navy game, the defense seems to be improving. And I hope there's no SEC team I dislike more than Auburn right now. And Auburn beat Carolina last year by a touchdown. So I hope Auburn comes in there, and I not only hope that they get thumped or smacked, I hope they get beat down and lose every bit of confidence they have and don't win another game this year.
Well, don't hold back now.
So I'll take Carolina by 17.
Well, I'm with Auburn. No, I'm not with Auburn, but I was saying Auburn, early in the year they pulled some, I don't want to call them lucky or whatever, but they pulled some late
Comeback.
Yeah, that's what you call it. But they pulled some out early, but then they went up to Clemson and got shot down to reality, and I think going back to South Carolina, State's just not going to be good for them, I don't think. So I'm going to go with the Gamecocks, too.
All right, that brings us to the finale here. The Alabama Crimson Tide at Florida. That's going to be a night game in the Swamp. I watched Alabama beat the brakes off Arkansas last week. The strange thing was when it was 3rd and 8, Alabama wasn't even passing the ball. They was giving it to Richardson, and then I don't know where this other running back come from, but he's they ain't even missing Mark Ingram.
No.
But they was handing it off on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, and they was getting 12, 15 yards a pop. They was getting to 3rd and 8 because they was trying to pass the ball. Florida, who was it they played last week, Adam? That's right. They played the Vols from Tennessee, and they pretty much handled Tennessee. Wait a minute. Florida played Kentucky last week.
That's right.
Yeah, they beat the brakes off of Kentucky, but I think just about everybody.
They didn't get that mess out of here.
I think everybody in the SEC East, including Vanderbilt, will beat Kentucky this year. And I don't know, Kentucky or Ole Miss, they in a dead heat for the worst team in the SEC probably. But I think Florida's better than everybody thought they was.
Right.
I think everybody thought Florida with a new coach wasn't going to be that good.
Well, defensively they're strong.
Yeah.
Muschamp's pretty much a defensive coach,
and let's not forget that these two coaches, Muschamp was at one point on Saban's staff at LSU and with Miami, and they had a rift, and they don't even speak to each other now. Matter of fact, I read an article that Muschamp's dad, basically, I'm not going to repeat what he called him, but he didn't have no love for Nick Saban. So, but regardless, Alabama, their defense. This is going to be a defensive game. I don't think either team's gonna put up a bunch of points. I'm pulling for Florida in this game, but I see Alabama winning 21-17.
I'm like you. It's going to be a defensive struggle. It's probably going to come down to somebody making a crucial turnover somewhere. It's played in Florida, but Alabama's been in the big games.
That's not going to affect them.
The crowd's not going to be that much of a factor for them, I don't think. And I got to go with the experience in the big games also with Alabama.
Yeah, I think Alabama comes out of the swamp with the little bit of skin off their back, but they still will be undefeated. But Florida will probably gain a little bit of respect if they can keep it close.
Right.
Florida, I think, is still 1, maybe 2 years away from dominating the East again. So hopefully that don't happen. But but at any rate, that'll wrap it up for our college segment here.
Like I said, we're going to come back and have some maidens action or whatever, and Coach Baxter is supposed to be with us. Well, I don't know if he'll be here or not, but anyways, we'll be right back and talk about some maidens. See here.